Right then folks, before we get into this week's video, just a bit of warning about the first 14 minutes of this video. It is about sort of me behind the scenes, why I haven't been on YouTube as much as I wanted to be in the past couple of months or 3 months or so. So if you want to skip ahead, no offense taken whatsoever, just skip straight forward to the action by using the time code stamp in the description below, and it'll take you straight to the start of the new camera and the photography part. So let's get on with the video. I feel like I need to start the video with a huge apology, and that's just an apology to all my subscribers and everybody that watches regular, and just anybody that watches the channel, to be honest with you, but mainly my subscribers and people who leave comments and stuff like that. I do really appreciate people leaving comments, and I don't want anyone to think that, oh, you know, he's a YouTuber and he doesn't ever reply to anyone and or stuff like that. I really love reading people's comments, but since Christmas I've just really struggled. I've struggled with motivation, if I'm honest with you, and there's been a few things that have gone on that have meant that I've just not been able to give as much time to YouTube and you know, to you guys that leave comments and stuff that I really want to be honest. So I do really apologise for that, and I really do mean that from down here, that I just, you know, I want to give it my all, but sometimes it's very difficult, and it's difficult for a few reasons, and I do want to go into them 10 reasons, and one of them is an extremely difficult thing for me to talk about, but I will talk about it now. So the first thing is just the weather. The weather's been awful in the UK. There has been some really nice days. I'm not saying it's all been bad, but it just felt like it's pretty much last October rained, and I'm not afraid of getting out in the rain, but I do like a bit of variety. So when it's rain or it's just grey and miserable, you can get some really good shots, and I definitely recommend people go out in that, but it's not what I want to do all the time. So I sort of lacked a bit of inspiration there to get out in that sort of weather. So that's one thing. The second thing is work has just been ridiculously busy, and I've just not been able to get out and shoot as much as I want to. And would you believe that I've had some Delta 100 loaded in 5 of my film holders for my 4x5 since January this year, and they're still sat in there now, and I've just not had the opportunity on the right days to actually go out and shoot. So that's been playing on my mind, that these sheets of film are sat in these film holders. I've not got out. So yeah, there's weather, just busyness at work, and really excitingly, actually, I got a really big project given to me by a client, which involves some aerial photography and videography, some standard sort of ground level photography and videography, and also a time-lapse video. So I've been busy working on that. That's been 2 weeks worth, and it was day and night working, so I had to sort of split my time between work, some funny hours and all that sort of thing, and I just put my all into that, and I'm still putting my all into that now, if I'm honest with you, because although the site part of it is finished, I've got over 300 hours of video footage that I've mainly now chopped down, and I'm going through the process of color grading and finding suitable music for it, and going through the photos and getting rid of the dross and just sort of narrowing it down to the ones that I actually like. So that's taken a lot of time as well, and I hope you'd understand that obviously that's a paid gig, and it's enabled me to spend some money and upgrading some equipment, and going out and stupidly buying the camera that I'm going to be using today. But anyway, that you know, obviously that's had to take priority, which I hope you would understand. But the other thing, and the more serious thing, is, and it's been really difficult, and the amount of times that I've made this intro is embarrassing, to be honest with you, because I should be able to talk about it fairly easily, but I really do struggle. I guess I'm a bloke, and you know, that's what happens with us blokes a lot of the time, but it shouldn't be the case. And I'm going to have a shout out to Henry Turner, and I hope you guys do watch his channel, because he is very good. He's very energetic, and he does inspire me to get out and shoot. a lot of the time, but he did a video from Andorra or wherever he was, where he was talking about he'd suffered on that trip from massive imposter syndrome. I suffer with imposter syndrome. I think most people in the creative world suffer with imposter syndrome at some point in their careers. But yeah, he suffered it out there, and he was talking about it, and he was quite open about it, and I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to be open about where I am, and sort of, you know, a bit more about me as an individual, me, you know, behind the scenes me, I suppose. And I hope you guys, you know, will appreciate a little bit just me opening up a bit about myself, and you know, I think you know, people who subscribe and take the opportunity to watch the channel, I hope you'll appreciate me sort of, you know, just being a bit more open with who I am as an individual. So I have I've suffered with depression since I was at school, as far back as I can remember. I wasn't very good at school. I suffered from dyslexia at the time. I'm a lot better now. I actually became a lot better since I started work, and I think that's because I've been more engaged at work. I wasn't engaged when I was at school. It wasn't anything that I enjoyed being there. I was a bit of a tearaway, and you know, that was back then. And so I've carried that all the way through my life, and it's never gone away. I've been in and out of the doctors a few times, and been on and off some tablets now and again over the years. So I've always found that photography for me, and being in the great outdoors, or being, you know, sort of photographing on the street, or doing any of that sort of thing, has always been my clear my head. That's always been the thing I've always been able to rely on if I've been feeling a bit crap, that I can get out in the field, and even if I don't come home with a photo, the fact I've been out in the field and I've, you know, gone for a walk, I've walked up a mountain, I've gone to a seascape, I've done whatever, I've taken some photos, or if I've not taken some photos, it's about being in the outdoors for me, and that's lifted me massively. And just that day of going and doing that has reset me every time, without a doubt, you know. And if I come away with some amazing photos, or what I think are amazing anyway, and I'm really happy with the shoot I did that day, that lifts me even further, and that would carry me then, and you know, just ride that high, and that high would stay there for ages and ages and ages. And now and again I'd need to go and do a reset. So that's what I've always done, and photography has always helped me on that journey, and has always, you know, been the enjoyment in my life that's been the stable thing. So that's why I've done it for years and years and years. The fact that I absolutely love the process, I love being outdoors, and it just all comes together and helped me through that. So that was fine, that was absolutely fine, and that carried on like that up until 2016. To be precise, May of 2016, when my wife passed away of breast cancer. Now, that moment in time was a absolute, just, you know, completely and utterly changed the course of my life, as I'd hope you could imagine. And it sent my depression into the stratosphere. It put it in orbit. It was that bad, and it still is bad now. And I've had to have counselling for it. I'm on medication at the moment. I've been on it for a long time, and photography is no longer enough to lift me out of that hole that I sometimes get into. It's not all the time, just now and again. And unfortunately, just after Christmas, I'd sort of had an attack of it again, and my motivation for work, for photography, for being in the outdoors, for it gone. And you know, it's one of the reasons why I've you know, packed my bag ready to go the next day, had it by the front door, knew exactly where I was going, sort of planned it all down to the you know, to the T, to the last detail. And alarm's gone off in the morning, and I've just stayed asleep. I've just, you know, turned it off and got back to sleep again, because I've just not had that motivation to get up. And that is a big issue for me, and has been, like I say, it's just been since my late wife passed away. It's just been a big issue for me. When she passed away, I did have a camera, I had XT1, and I had a full, the Trinity of lenses, and I didn't do photography for 5 years, and I've mentioned that on this channel before. It was sort of a couple of years leading up to when she died, because she battled cancer for 6 years, and then about 3 years afterwards, I did go out now and again, because I took a year out of work, and I got on a motorbike and actually started a YouTube channel. And I was talking about my experience of losing my wife, and in the hope that it might help somebody else who's going through the same issue as I was. And I used to ride around on my motorbike, and I talk about my experiences and where my head was that day, and I'd do a tiny bit of photography, but it wasn't the main focus. The focus was talking about my late wife, my motorbike trip, and just where I was in at that moment in time. And so that's what I did, and so photography just took a back seat, and I haven't done it. And then, like I say, as the sort of years have passed since she sort of passed away, things have become slightly easier, but just now and again I just end up disappearing down a rabbit hole, and I don't want to talk to anyone. I struggle to reply to even my partner now. I even struggle to reply to her messages sometimes. So I get overwhelmed very quickly, and I am overwhelmed by people messaging on YouTube. I absolutely love when people do that and talk to people, and reading what people's got to say about my videos and their experiences and stuff, and putting a video out there and being excited about photography. I love all that sort of stuff, but just sometimes I just struggle, and that's where I've been really. So I just wanted to open up about that, I suppose, and like I say, just add on the end of that again, I just apologise for not replying to people. That's not who I am as a person generally. I just sometimes disappear down a little rabbit hole, and it takes me a little bit of time to get out of it. And this time has been from January through to sort of now. I feel like I'm feeling a bit better now. So it enables me to get out and do some photography and stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're heading down to Bournemouth. We're going to get out on. Sorry, this is a bit of a mess. I'm on a narrow lane, and there's a bit of a Mexican standoff going on here. There we go. So we're going to get on down to Bournemouth now. Not that I want the violin to come out at all, but any of this video, actually, I don't want the violin to come off at all. Yeah, that's not what this video is about at all. I'm not looking for subscribers or likes or anything like that on this video. I just wanted to open up, so I want to get out there now that I'm definitely not looking for likes and subscribers. Because I want people to get the violin out for me and my life. That's not the case at all. I just wanted to explain a little bit about me, and perhaps why I've not been as active on YouTube as what I'd like to be. But anyway, we're going to go down to Bournemouth, and I had a whole thing planned out today. I was going to go down to Bournemouth, and I was going to do some street photography with said new camera. But a couple of days ago, I slipped down the last 4 steps in my house and went over on my foot, and now I have a big toe which is twice the size, or it was twice the size that it should be, and has now reduced in size a little bit, enough for me to get my boot on, but it's still incredibly painful, and it's very, very black. So I'm going to hobble around as much as Bournemouth as I possibly can do, which isn't going to be a lot, and see what images we can get. So I am looking forward to getting out and using this new camera. So yeah, let's get down to Bournemouth and see what we can get. So welcome folks to Bournemouth seafront, and the actual pier, the main pier, which is behind me, which we're going to have a wander on in a minute. Now, the camera that I brought out with me today is this lovely beast here. which, yes, I have absolutely fallen for the hype. This is the Fuji X100VI, and yes, ashamedly, I bought it. Now, where I am at the moment with my headspace is that I have my Bessar R2, which is obviously 35mm film camera. I absolutely love that camera, I really do. But I am starting to think that maybe transitioning to digital when it comes to the smaller formats and just sort of doing away, well, I'll keep my Bessar because I do love the Bessar, but doing away with medium format film and 35mm film and just sticking with 4x5, and I'll never give up 4x5. That is my ultimately what I love. But I do want a camera which I can take out with the family, that I'm not going to miss shots with, and yeah, so I thought I'd give one of these a go. Now, yeah, I'm hoping that this can sort of be a supplement to film in those situations where I'm out with the family, or I'm just out to do some street photography, which I'm hoping to get done today. And yeah, so this is the first outing with this camera, and I went with this camera for obvious reasons, really, and it's just the fact that unashamedly I love the way it looks. I think it's such a beautiful camera. I was surprised that I managed to get this one relatively easy. I actually ordered it on the day that they were released and wasn't expected to hear anything till the back end of the year if I was lucky. So when I got a phone call out the blue about a week ago, I was actually on holiday, saying that this thing was in stock and ready for collection, then it surprised me really. So yeah, so I obviously went and picked it up on, well, this Monday, and this is the first time that I've actually shot with it. I've done a bit of trial at home, but that's it. So yeah, let's get on with this and see if it's any good or not. So, a couple of minor annoyances, or one minor annoyance, which is actually quite a big annoyance with this camera that I've found so far, is that the shutter button isn't very responsive. You don't feel like you're taking a shot. You press it, you don't know if you're taking that shot or not. And there was a woman just sat on the beach there. She was reading a book, and I did go up behind her and just sort of sneak a shot over her shoulder, or thought I sneaked a shot over her shoulder of her reading this book on the beach, but the camera didn't take it. I would press the button, obviously I didn't press it hard enough, but you don't really get that feedback. It's not very good on the old feedback front there, to sort of let you know that you've taken that shot and give you that confidence, which is a little bit annoying, to be honest. But yeah, the shutter sound is very quiet. I'm sure there must be some settings maybe in here to be able to turn it up, which I'll probably need to look into, well, I will look into. But for the moment, yeah, just missed a couple of shots now like that because I thought I pressed that shutter button down and I hadn't. A bit annoying. But anyway, as you can see, it is a beautiful day. It really is a beautiful day. It's probably about 9:30 in the morning now. The sun is probably a little bit too high for my liking, but it doesn't matter. Like I say, I'm out, and that's the main thing. And yeah, just enjoying it so far. Well, it was £1.65 to get on this pier. I've never been on this pier before, and there aren't really very many people here, which is a bit disappointing, but maybe a bit later it will be. But yeah, you can get on this pier for £1.65, lasts you all day, or you can have a season pass, which is £5.50, obviously for the year. So yeah, I thought that was quite good value for getting on this pier, or some might say it should be free, but £1.65, ain't gonna complain. Yeah, so I quite like that woman just stood on the end of the pier there looking out to sea, and just the funfair ride has a bit of foreground interest. Hopefully some of those shots come out, but yeah, just really getting back into it today. And like I say, it's not too fussed if I don't get anything, but I'm enjoying it. Beautiful. It's like the two heads sort of sat looking out to sea. Oh, excellent. There's a couple of old ladies walking up here. In fact, actually I photographed them a minute ago, but they're walking right towards me, so this could be my opportunity to get a good shot here. Right, let's wait for the opportune movement here. Ooh. Okay, definitely got a couple of shots in. Yeah, so we've gone up to ISO 1600. Also, I just love seeing people sat on the sand and just looking out to sea. I think that makes a good shot. But so far, I'm enjoying this. A few little niggles that I'll talk about later. So there's a nice breeze blowing. Shame about the sun, it's directly above me. There's a granny over there with her wood stuff. She's just carrying it down the beach. I don't know if you can see her there. Let's try to intercept her. That's a big old fluffy dog. Don't you get sand out of that bad boy, won't you? It's a little bit embarrassing when you can't catch up with two old people pushing trolleys, hobbling my fastest rate, because I've just seen two ladies at the other side of this. I have overtaken them now. I'm going to scoot round the corner, see if we can photograph them coming back towards me. Just check they haven't sneaked up behind me. Right, here we go. Wish me luck. Bit of reflection as well, which is good.
I don't know whether it's been like cut back.
Right, so I just thought I'd give you a bit of an update on what I've learned so far with this Fuji X100VI. So I've taken 156 shots this morning, and I've been out for a couple of hours. So, and this is on one full battery when I started. So I'm down to currently sort of 1 bar, and as you can see, it's gone red, so it hasn't got much left on it. I've sort of been shooting at f8. 1/250th, 1/500th of a second, and sort of ISO 250. When I went into the amusement place I was in, my bumped my ISO up to 2500 and opened up the aperture to 5.6. So yeah, so far I've been impressed. Couple of annoyances after my first outing with it. Like I've said before, this shutter button here is just not, it's not engaging enough. I've missed a few shots today with this. Thought I pressed it, and I haven't. So this could just do it to be more engaging. It's very, very quiet, which is good for street photography, but if you haven't got an engaging button, then you don't hear the shutter. That's a bit of a problem, so that's an issue. I've also moved the exposure compensation dial a couple of times by accident. I would say it's easy to move, but I have found that I've moved that a couple of times. And then the other thing is, when my sort of eye was up against the viewfinder, I was finding that my nose was actually pressing the screen and moving the focus button, which was annoying. I'm sure I can turn the back display off. I'm sure I can, and just have the EVF only, but for the moment I haven't found out how to do that yet. But that's something I'll probably look at when I next go out with this. But yeah, aside from that, I haven't looked at the images yet, obviously. I found it very useful with the tilty screen that it's got, and also just, you know, when I've been sort of walking along doing street photography, I've sort of been just looking completely in another direction, but I've had the corner of my eye on my screen and who I wanted to shoot, and just sort of moved it as I was looking about, make sure not to make eye contact with who I was shooting, and then just shot away. So I was impressed with that. So it'd be nice to see, you know, how noisy it is at 2500 ISO, and yeah, just how sharp the images are, how many I've missed focus on, or how many the cameras missed focus on. It hasn't got the marking lines to sort of be able to do zone focusing, which is a bit annoying. It would be nice for this this lens to have that on there, so you could put it in manual and zone focus. I suppose you could still do that by putting it in manual, and then on the back of the screen just working out, sort of using the focus assist mode to find out sort of a distance away from an object that you you know, just an object you think, okay, that's 2 meters away, I'll get that in focus, leave it at that point, and then when you're walking along, shoot. That's one way you could do it, I suppose. But yeah, aside from that, it has been a nice shooting experience. I found that the grip is not brilliant. I found that I've got an ache now in my thumb, or just down here in my hand, where I've just been sort of holding on to the edge of that. So it'd be nice to have had a little bit more on the bottom of the camera to just to sort of rest, because as you can see, I don't know if you can see there, but it's just digging in the bottom of my my hand there, which, so I've got an ache there as well. I have ordered a cage for this, weirdly enough, but they do, Small Rig make a really nice cage for this, really nice vintage looking cage that does increase that grip. So I'm hoping that that might solve that issue, because it's not a light camera. It's not a light camera by any stretch of the imagination, and as you can see, you know, just holding it like that, it you know, it feels like it wants to sort of fall that way. But aside from that, so I've enjoyed the first outing with it, so I'm going to get back now and have a look at the images, and yeah, hopefully they come out. If they do, well, you'll see them whether they do or they don't. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this little video. Sorry about the long waffle at the beginning, and I'm sorry that I've been away for so long, but I'm looking to get out a lot more now and do some more photography, especially with my 4x5. Now that the sort of madness at work has calmed down a little bit. So yeah, that was really what I needed to sort of fuel my creative rut that I was in. Not fuel it, but get rid of it. So yeah, I've enjoyed my day. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.